Welcome back to the Manor Entropians. Julian McBain here, and we are going into Lemmy's castle. And first, I just want to point out how cool this whole place looks. Like, apparently this is a gatekeeper. I don't even know if... Whoa. I know where immortals die. I have heard the mountain giants tread. I have seen the death of worlds. I know the wizard's words. I hear the evil in my head. Oh, he killed me. Damn. Obviously, it's Motorhead lyrics. Does this work? Nope. Obviously, I was wrong. Good lord. Okay, well, we'll get to our revive terminal, wherever that happens to be. Oh, damn, it's way the hell up here. Ugh. This is the fire circle hunting lodge. So we're like way above where we were at. Now, let's kind of run that direction. If I have to, I'll pop my sleep near out, but I need to heal anyway. So, as we're walking our asses back down to the bridge, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please go to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you will get exclusive content, of which I was actually going to make this month's exclusive today. I will be doing it probably tomorrow for release next week. Don't you worry about that. I will continue to put out the monthly exclusive video. I'm looking to try to expand on that, but my summers are not what you would call quiet. Yeah. Oh, I see. It's over there. So we'll see what happens there. I had actually hoped to do, like... Forget it. We're just gonna drop down. More philosophy, right? Because that's what I like doing, is I like talking about philosophy. I like talking about culture. Because that's really what this channel is kind of all about, is I'm striving to build culture. And I don't know if I'm very successful, or if I'm, or I should say, I don't know how successful I am. I've got a small audience, and that's okay. I'm really glad to have everyone that's here. But I understand the limits of my reach, but I'm still going to make an effort. Pause. I need to just state how cool this all looks. Just the aesthetic, the sheer scale. So, anyway, in my last video I talked about agency and how important it is that we remember that no matter how bad things get, we do have agency. And that agency means that we have the ability to pursue whatever it is we wish to pursue. And really, we have an obligation to do so. And there's a reason behind this, and this is something I've heard repeated in many different books, in many different lecture types, whether it was business success or in Peterson's work or whatever. It's like, for instance, Grant Cardone says, "Success is my duty, my obligation, and my responsibility." Well, the fact of the matter is that if you are going to build yourself up to be the best you can be, you have to pursue something that you really truly wish to pursue. And it's not always easy to determine what that is. And a lot of people won't bother setting goals because if you set a goal, it is possible that you fail. And it sucks when you fail. And I still have a list of goals up on my door from 2020. I set the goals in 2020, and a lot of them became... No, I can actually say several of them became physically impossible with the pandemic. Some of them became physically impossible with the pandemic. For instance, one of them was to fight in 5 tournaments last year. Obviously, with no tournaments going on, I can't possibly fight in 5 tournaments last year. There haven't even been tournaments this year. And so I've actually... And I need to fix this. This is actually a deficiency on my part. I actually need to start looking at and setting goals for 2021. 2016. Wow, Julian. I need to set my goals for 2021 because I haven't done it yet, and we're already halfway through the year. Now, I'm going to give myself just a little bit of leeway here because we were still under pandemic restrictions through, in a lot of ways, technically through the end of this month. But that doesn't mean that I want to use that as a crutch. And that's, I think, something that a lot of us are guilty of. I'm guilty of it. I've seen other people use it. But we allow circumstances and continued circumstances to perpetually become a crutch for us, where you can say, well, I couldn't do this because of this circumstance, and the circumstance never goes away. Well, could you adapt to the circumstance? And sometimes the answer is going to be no, right? I could not adapt to the circumstance of the pandemic in order to fight in 5 tournaments because there were literally no tournaments going on. And the law made it so that organizing a tournament myself, which is an alternative, right? That's a very logical alternative. No one's holding a tournament, organize a tournament yourself. Get a team together of like-minded individuals and hold the event and make it happen. It would have been illegal for me to do so under those circumstances, or at least, well, it wouldn't technically... the bounds of executive authority in the state of Vermont are really, really gray. It would not have been... I think it would have been technically legal, but it would not have been kosher, for lack of a better term. Let's just say that it's so gray, it's just better not to. And usually I'm someone who's more than happy to live in the gray zone. That those circumstances, it just would have been, the logistics would have been impossible. So, but now that those circumstances are no longer the case, I need to overcome that issue and start looking at doing tournaments again. Now, the organization I primarily do tournaments with has not started tournaments up again yet. That's coming in the coming months. However, there are other organizations with which I may or may not be affiliated. I actually have to check to see if my dues were paid on my HEMA Alliance membership. But they hold tournaments. I can see what they're doing. I know there's a local HEMA group. Well, I say local. It's up about an hour from me. That is doing practices. Mostly on the regular now. So all of these things are things that we can organize, that I can do in order to get back into the process of my fencing. And so that excuse needs to go away. I no longer have that crutch, or I won't have that crutch much longer, and that's good. Because I need to take responsibility for myself and put those goals back into place, because when you have goals, you have a measure by which you can achieve. And it's important that you have those things, because that which gets measured gets accomplished. That's a Dan Pena-ism. That which gets measured gets accomplished. You have to have parameters by which you can be successful, which, of course, by their very nature, means that you have parameters by which you can fail. And it's up to you to decide whether you are going to take the necessary actions to be successful, because the default position is failure. Failing to act is a choice. And the results of that choice is failure. You will fail to achieve what it is you wanted to achieve as a goal. And so that's something that I'm now dealing with, trying to remember. I'm going back through. I'm currently listening to, because I do most of my stuff by audiobook, so that I can absorb the information while I'm working or while I'm walking. Today, for instance, I listened to about an hour of Beyond Order by Dr. Peterson while I was sanding and painting a sign. And the big thing is that we have to remember to oh Christ, I lost my train of thought. So I'm going through these materials again. I'm revivifying myself, because it's easy to get lost in the noise. It really is. The easiest thing for you to do is get lost in the noise, and the fastest place to get lost in the noise is social media. Like, for better or for worse, my job involves a lot of social media interaction. Like, and I have several jobs, right? I've got my 9 to 5, for which I manage the social media for the office. And then I have my my campaign, because I'm a politician, and so I need to be on social media to do my political work there. And I have another job where I need to monitor social media and media generally. Like, part of that job is to watch the news a lot. And just analyze it. And so that's where, it's easy to get lost in all that noise, and to lose focus on the internal things that I need to do in order to grow, because it's easy to fill your brain with that crap. And a lot of it, that's what it is it's crap. It's just garbage. People spewing shit all day long on social media. And I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of important things there aren't a lot of important things that happen that break on social media. Quite the opposite. But at the same time, is it really the effective use of your time? And I understand that it is not an effective use of my time, even though I'm on it a lot, even though in a lot of cases, I'm being paid to do exactly that. It's a great irony that, part of my job is to do something that I know is inherently wasteful to the psyche. I really don't know how to square that. Are there any social media managers, other social media managers that are on that watch my channel? How do you deal with it? Like, how do you deal with and cut through the noise? Or do you not actually, like, monitor social media? Do you just write up the posts and schedule them using whatever software you use? Like, I use Hootsuite, which is not a big surprise to anyone because it's the most popular one out there. But yeah, so that's the big one. And, like, one of my goals for this year is to make partner. And because of the mistakes I made at the beginning of the year, there's a good chance it's not going to happen. Now, my hope is that it does. And so I'm setting it as the goal anyway. I failed in that goal in 2020. I accept that failure. I am restating that goal in 2021. Even though there is a good chance I will fail, because even with the good chance of failure, if I don't set that as the goal, I will stop trying as hard as I'm trying. And it won't be intentional. It will not be intentional, but that's the way the human brain works. Is you will work toward whatever goal you set for yourself. And if you don't set the goal high, you could achieve your goal and not get nearly as far as you could have. If I set a goal of, I don't know, walking a mile, right? That's a good goal. That's a good health conscious goal, to walk a mile every single day. If I want to be healthier, or build strength or stamina, then instead of walking, my goal should be to run, to be able to run that mile. And not just run that mile. I don't know what the APFT has for my age group, but there was a time I used to be able to run a mile in just over 8 minutes. I could do an 8-minute mile. And part of me really misses that part of me, the ability to run an 8-minute mile. I was in the best shape of my life. And I'm not in terrible shape now, but I'm not in the shape I was back then. So I could set that goal. And I could, and if you have that, because you have the endpoint, now you have to set a time limit. Because if my goal is just to run an 8-minute mile before I die, well, I've got probably, 50 to 60 years left easy. I'm 37. I expect to live to be 150 with medical technology, but my actuarial life expectancy is 89. This is what happens when you work in the industry I am in. Yes, I actually know what my life expectancy is by actuary. And so if I've got 50 years left easy, I'm 37, that would put me at 97. No, I'm sorry. 87, so that's 50 years before I even come close to my actuarial life expectancy. So, that's a long time to achieve that goal. I won't be putting any fucking effort forth to then, and by the time I realize I'm running short on time, my body may not be capable of doing it anymore. So instead, what I need to do is I need to set a time limit. So if I want to run an 8-minute mile and I want to do so in a time period that actually means something, I need to set a reasonable time limit. So let's say I say I want to run an 8-minute mile by the time fall comes. Okay. That's an achievable goal. I went from not being able to run a mile at all to being able to run an 8-minute mile within half a year. Now that was back when I was 18 years old. I'm not 18 anymore, I'm not as spry, it would take me longer. But let's say by the end of summer. I still think that's very doable. So how do you go about achieving that? Now, and keep in mind this is a hypothetical, this isn't actually on my list of goals, although it probably should be. You go out and you run. And then when you can't run anymore, you walk. And then when you're rested, you run again. And then you know what? When that's done, you check the time. It's like, okay, I did it in 15 minutes. And that was Monday. And then after that, you're done Monday. You get up on Tuesday, you run again. Okay, you ran on Monday, now you're running on Tuesday. Well, why do you run on Tuesday? Because you build up skill by repetition. And that's how you grind out your goals. And each day, you might add a few seconds that you're running and fewer, taking seconds away from where you're walking. But you're out there running. And pretty soon, you're running the whole mile. It may not be in 8 minutes, but maybe it's in 10 or 12. But you're running the whole time. There's no walking left. And then you start to run just a little bit faster. And so now you chop it down to 10 minutes. And then you chop it down to 9 minutes. And then you incrementally progress toward the 8-minute mile. Until finally you achieve it. You can check the goal off. And then maybe if you decide that's what you want to maintain, you continue to run every single day. And the same works with any other skill. If I had my way, I would fence every single day. And what I really should be doing is I should be doing more drills, and I know that. I should be doing more blade work and footwork drills. I have a hard time solo drilling. Because I have nothing to measure myself by. And I don't just mean like I have to spar all the time. When I drill, I like to drill with another person, because then I can see how my movement causes them to react, and I can tell where my mistakes are. So like back when I was teaching fencing, I would do opposed drills. What an opposed drill is you're standing across from your partner, and you are making movements as if you're fighting, but you're going very, very slowly. And sometimes the opponent is supposed to react in a fixed manner, and that's when you're learning a move. Like there's a move, and actually one of my buddies is the one who showed me to do this, and I adapted it to my fencing style. And so when the opponent comes in, you defend high, so you're pushing using your blade, turning the sharp edge, what we call the true edge, up against their blade, so it's above your head now. It's above my head now. And then instead of counter striking with a standard thrust or lunge, I take my back foot, cross it to the front. So generally when fencing, my right foot is forward, my left foot is back. So I'm facing them with my right side forward. Okay? And I'm kind of squared off because that's my style, but generally speaking, that's how a right-handed person would fight, is with their right side forward. So what you do is you parry or block high, so their blade would go over your head or at least past your shoulder and not hit you. And then you do what we call a passing advance, which means my left foot goes from behind to the front. So now I'm twisted, and I'm closer to them than I would be if I had just taken a short step. You use your offhand, your non-sword hand, to hold the back of your own blade up, because that prevents your opponent from using their strength to overpower you. And then with that supported stance, you slide your blade across theirs and into their face, into their mask, because you're wearing a mask. And it takes a lot of practice to get this right. It's really hard to do on your own. And watching it done, it's when someone does it right, and boy can they do it right. Because I've been hit in the head with this more than once. It's fucking beautiful. It's gorgeous. The move is just chef's kiss. The amount of repetition I'm sure that took him, that took Captain Aubrey, to get that move down, has to be crazy. I don't even... I don't know what amount of practice it took them to do it, but it took a lot. My hope is that I'll be able to fence him and a lot of my old friends in the very near future. I really miss it. To me, that sport is more than just a skill. The sport of fencing is, in combat sports in general, it is an expression of what we are capable of as a human being. And I mean this for fencing, I mean it for armored combat, I mean it for like the really, what they call boo hurt, which is they're in armored combat and they're fighting at full force with steel weapons and real armor, and it's just crazy shit. Okay, apparently this is the Lemmy's Castle teleporter. So yeah, that's what it is. You have to set a goal. And so for me, like, I know that I need to review my fencing goals. I need to review my channel goals, which my channel goal is going to be pretty simple. It's to continue producing videos, maybe make a little more exclusive content, Maybe start making VR vids. You know, I have an Oculus now. It is... Aw. It shot him. Oh my god, this castle's huge. I have my fencing goals. I have my... Oh, you're not level 2. Whoops. It's like, oh wait. You're not a weakling. And I need to come up with like my work goals, because in the last 3 months, a lot of what I do at my 9 to 5 has actually changed. Like my whole role at my 9 to 5 has changed. And so now I need to revisit what my goals were like, because at the beginning of the year, I wanted to basically double my production numbers. Well, now my role doesn't call for that. And what I mean by that is while I do some production, my role now, my primary goal now is to solve problems for customers, right? I do some sales, but selling is not my primary job anymore. It's fixing things, fixing problems, which is awesome. Like, I like doing that. That's kind of my sort of thing to do. But I can't be using a salesperson's goals. I can't have a salesperson goal if I'm not a salesperson. So I've got to revisit that and figure that out. But that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll have that set of goals figured out by my next video, and we can go through them. It's been kind of an annual tradition, the last 12 months notwithstanding, to go through and review annual goals and to invite everyone to share their goals in the comments, because I deeply believe goal setting is vitally important. So, okay guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I really appreciate the support. We'll see you in the next one.